My bad. So the three-step journey obviously is you in distress, you finding a cure, you fixing yourself, you coming up with a model that can help other people, which is what you've been doing and helping other people one-on-one. And now you come up with a model which is a one-to-many so that they become their own hero and then they can make other people heroes by helping people get well. So that's the journey. And then obviously the offer is if you think this is for you, then you and I need to talk because it's a long training course and it's a sizable investment. But the reality is this could be a business for you. So not only are you building a new life for yourself physically, but you're also building a business model that's going to help a lot of other people like you've helped yourself. So that's going to be the webinar model. And then we can deliver that through Zoom. I mean, there's two parts to Zoom. There's Zoom that we're using. And then there's also a second part, which is called Zoom.
I saw the webinars. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So it's $40 a month extra. But what it does, it gives people a chance to register. You get their email. You can send them emails. You can absorb them into your database. And then the Zoom webinar data shows if they showed up live, how long they stayed for, what they clicked on, when they left, or if they didn't show up at all. And then we can use that spreadsheet to actually then, because most of the sales on the webinars happen after the webinar, not normally during the webinar. So we can work on that as well.
Okay.
So we don't need to buy it yet, obviously, until we're ready. The other beautiful thing about Zoom webinar is you can Facebook Live out of it as well. And that way you get a proper recording of your Facebook Live and you can then bring in a guest and you can have, just like we are, two screens, you can have two screens on a Facebook Live. And when you do Facebook Live, typically everything is always back to front because it's not a reverse image on your camera, whereas on Zoom Live, it does a mirror image, so everything is like...
See, I've seen it that way. I mean, I don't know who I saw, but yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, well, what you saw, what I sent you on Monday is what I did.
Mm-hmm. No, so, but I mean like on Facebook. On Facebook, I've seen it that way.
Perfect. So through that webinar, how did, just from my process of how I've developed that over the last 3 years, how did you feel it worked as a process? Because is that something that you could adopt?
Which process?
The way I did the group. So I did a lot of education, but not a ton. But I also seeded how my results work for different clients. And then obviously I made an offer at the end to get in touch with me. Yeah. That's kind of the process.
Okay. Well, what I will do is listen again and make notes about the points the different points, so I can apply them to my thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that's how we're going to be able to. So obviously, we've got a small email list, but I think the best way to get people together and use the best use of your time is to create this webinar. And then when we've got it good, we don't have to keep delivering it live. We can actually record it, and we'll make it such that we don't specifically talk about the weather or the time of year or Easter or Mother's Day or whatever the season is at that time, but we make it sound as if you're delivering it live. So then people can actually sign up. They get a couple of options during the week that we can set up. And then, so they think they're joining you live, but in fact, it's a recording. But at the same time, what we can do is either have you or Emily manage the live chat so that it looks like somebody's there and talking back to them. But in fact, the recording, we're just pressing play. And they wouldn't really know that. And that's the best way to leverage your time so you're not constantly exhausted by being on camera for an hour.
Yeah.
But we've got that worked through, and we'll get into an evergreen state and build it through. So Zoom webinar is not the ideal program for that, but we still got to perfect it first. And Zoom webinar is just month to month. So if we do that for a couple of months and then we get right with it, then we'll use something like GoToWebinar, and then we can schedule these. There's another one called Webinar Ninja, and then this way we can turn it into an evergreen and they can watch it whenever they want around the world on their time zone. What we just have to do is, the ideal thing would be to monitor the chat box live.
The what?
So in the comments, like the chat box that we have here, because people are going to be asking comments or questions to you on the webinar.
You mean be on the chat, yeah.
Yeah, so if we do that and have a live chat box, then that's probably the best way to go. I mean, you can have a recorded chat box and you can go pick it up later, but it's much better if someone responds.
Yeah.
Because that way we're getting the engagement. So.
And
So is Emily good for setting up the drip campaign for the newsletter?
That was already set up. She didn't create that one.
Oh, who set your drip up?
Those emails were created by my previous business coach.
Okay. So we just, because we're working with drip with Paul as well, so we're starting to learn drip quite well. It is drip you use, right? Just in case.
What?
Is it drip that you use for your email?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's Kajabi, isn't it?
It's Kajabi, yeah.
Sorry. That's something wasn't resonating. So Kajabi email.
No, it was in active campaign in the past, and then she moved that to Kajabi.
Okay. So we need to look out. Okay, I'll get Paige to look into that. So we're not experts in Kajabi email, but we've done everybody else's email, so I'm sure it's not going to be that hard for us.
I am sure if you sign up for a free consultation, you will get the emails. So you will get to see them.
Okay. I think I did. I haven't had anything. We talked about that on Monday.
No, you sign up for the newsletter.
Oh, right. Correct. Okay, let's just do that while I'm here then, and let's just see what it does.
So last night I had.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
Can you see the difference? So last night I had a little bit of panic attack.
You did?
Yeah. Just telling you because I cannot tell anybody, but yeah.
You can tell me anything.
Shit. I mean, like, my husband has no fucking clue. He left this morning not knowing. I mean, like, I couldn't go to sleep like at 1:30 or something like that. I mean, I hit the terror barrier like really hard. I text Daisy twice this week and she didn't get back to me, and that's just not her.
So who's Daisy?
Daisy is the sales manager.
Okay. Oh, from BMW. Yes, Daisy. Yes.
So, like, I wanted to talk to Gina, which is Bob Proctor's assistant. She is my accountability person, but they are doing the Matrix seminar this week, and she's really busy. I know that. I text her, so I guess at some point she will get back to me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, like, I thought, well, she's not coming on Monday, which is a possibility, right?
Until they show up, it's always a possibility. Yeah.
Yeah. So
how long have you been in communication with her?
Like a couple months.
Okay.
Yeah, like I talked to her in February, beginning of February, and she was all excited. I mean, like 2 weeks ago, because Emily bought BMW to her, and Emily went there to wash her car, and she told her that she was ready to go and very excited and all of that. And like last week we talked, and this week those messages without answer. I don't know. I mean, I know the last week of the month, she's like, they are super extremely busy. I mean, like, exactly. They have to make the numbers.
Yes, exactly.
And also she ends really late at night, and she has to drive 1 hour home to get home. But I don't know. You should say something. I mean,
should. So with Facebook Messenger rather than text, you can actually see if someone's read it.
Yeah.
Because the little picture comes up that they've seen it, and you can see what time. So at least you know she's seen it. With a text, you actually, I mean, you can read notification so that you can get a notification when someone's
But
read
sometimes you do see it, right? I mean, like.
You would hope.
What I don't know if she has set up the feature set up. as I read it. Yeah, I don't see. I mean, it says deliberate from the one yesterday and the day before, but nothing before. I don't know. I mean, like.
Well, I'm just looking at her Facebook to see if it says anything, but she might have it locked down, so I might not even see her latest posts anyway.
And the other thing is, I thought I can go there.
Nope. So, do you have a contract with her signed and ready to go?
No.
Where are you at?
No, not yet.
So so are you giving her a base salary plus commissions, or
No, it was going to full commission.
Full commission. Okay.
But she was okay with that. I mean,
how did you come across her?
Well, Emily bought her a car and she thought it was really good. And the first time that she mentioned it, I didn't say anything. But the second time that she mentioned it, that she was really good. I mean, like Emily didn't even know that I was looking for a sales manager. I thought, okay, so maybe we should try with her. And we connected really, really well. I mean, like, you know, like, well, I didn't, I don't know.
So would this become her full-time job, or is this on top of some other things she's going to do?
No, full-time. It has to be full-time.
Okay. I'd be honest, it concerns me a little bit that if she doesn't make a lot of money fast, she's going to run. I mean, obviously we're all invested in your success, but what I can't guarantee is a time trajectory in terms of sales. I mean, we know we've got a lot of things to put in place, and we're getting a lot of things in place, but we don't know, because we haven't tried it yet, just what the lead time from lead to conversion is. And obviously we've got to build a much bigger list than what we've got on your email, because we're going to dry up pretty quick. And to get to 12 a week, it's going to take quite the machine.
Yeah.
So my only concern would be is that if she doesn't make a lot of money in her first month, if you like, she's going to say, I can't afford to do that.
I didn't, I didn't open the sales for the first month because I had people waiting. So I was waiting for her to come on board. Understood. So she made the money.
Yeah. What rate? What does she get?
10%.
Yeah.
And then 2% over the sales team. So the idea was hire more salespeople when she is trained and she feels confident and she knows the system and she knows how we work and all of that.
Okay, so $1,200 basically then to begin with.
Yes, yes.
And obviously you can't pay her until the sale's completed and you've been paid, because she needs to know that a sale is not a sale until you've been paid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Well, otherwise you're giving her money against a sale that may not come through, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think you said you had 6 to come straight out the gate, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's $7,200 right there. That's a lot of money. I don't know what she was making at the dealership.
Much less.
I mean, and that's $86,000 salary right out of the gate. So is she working as a contractor for you or an employee?
No, as a contractor.
Contractor. Okay. So in the state of California, she has to have other sources of income to be a contractor. You know that, right?
What do you mean?
So if you only pay her commissions and she doesn't get money from anybody else, that is actually deemed employment.
Well, but if she's a 1099, you mean?
If you're her only source of income,
yeah,
technically the government looks at that and says she's not a contractor, she's an employee.
Oh, okay.
So she needs to have alternative sources of income on top of yours to prove that she has her own sales management business, otherwise, at some point in an audit, you're going to have to go back and start paying insurance and stuff for her and pension and so on. So she does need to realize that if this is a full-time gig for her, she needs to have other ways of creating income other than just the Brain Institute.
Okay.
Were you aware of that?
No, I wasn't aware of that. It's weird because
California is the biggest state on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
British Columbia is very similar. With my web designer, Lindsay, I mean, it ended up that I was giving her 85% of her work. And if she'd have been audited by the government, which can happen at any time, they would have said, yeah, no. You're actually working for this guy. Even though you have your own company and you have a sales number, a tax number and everything, it's still employment. So we had to change the model so that I had to take her on salary last summer on the off chance, because if she gets audited and they backdate it, I'm on the hook.
Yeah.
The backdated expense is not her. So it was a potential liability for me. So in the end, I took her on as a salaried employee, which is a much bigger commitment for me because whether I bring in the work or not, I have to pay it. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the sales capacity with commissions, obviously, when you receive the money and it's cleared funds, because you have to also have that right of refusal, so people can sign up and then have the right to cancel, right? Within, is it 3 days or something like that? I'm not sure what the California period of change your mind is. Do you know?
The what?
So when you buy something,
yeah,
you have to have a period of time legally that you can change your mind and ask for a refund. And I'm not sure if it's 3 days, 5 days.
It all depends. It all depends of the place.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
So it's the state of California will have a legislation.
Has a minimum of that.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody signs up, I get to give the money back for if it's in the next 3 days or something.
I think it is. Yeah, they have a right to change their mind. So it's a legal right. So obviously, with Daisy, we can't pay her commission even if you've been paid until that right of passage is passed. So she needs to be aware of that. So you might just want to do some research around in California, just how long that grace period is.
I will talk to my lawyer.
There is a law name for it, but it's basically the right to change your mind.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be as little as 48 hours, but it might be longer. It might be longer.
Okay.
And if she's not the right person, then we need a plan B, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
And plan B could be you to begin with.
Yeah.
Because even if she doesn't start and you sell these people yourself, that's $7,200 in your jeans.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we grow, I mean, I have a set like Erin, who you spoke to originally. I mean, she's my salesperson. So she's my executive assistant and she's also my salesperson. So people come through her. She does our original meeting just like you had. Then she comes to me and said, absolutely, this is an ideal fit for us as a company. And then as and when I do it, then she gets we actually just changed it. I pay her a base retainer now. And if she goes over and above certain things that she brings in, then we can do things differently. But yeah. So there's other people.
Yeah.
And it's a high expectation for her to, I mean, she'll be aggressive and that's good. You want that with the sales. But we don't have any, other than you, we don't have any people under our belt to prove the model with. So I'm not saying it doesn't work and it won't work, but it's obviously going to take time. And she needs to be aware of that. And we don't want to have that conversation with her saying, you said you would give me 12 sales a week, and if you did 12 a week, that's a crap load of money. If you did, your ultimate goal is to do 12 a week over a year, right?
No, it's 25.
25 a week.
Mm-hmm.
So you're okay with giving her $30,000 a week?
Yeah.
So that's 1.56 million.
Yeah.
You're okay with that?
Yeah. I mean, how much more the company will be making?
Correct. But do you really need to make somebody a millionaire? You could pay somebody $100,000 salary and keep over $1 million yourself. I know everybody wants to win, but if you get to that point, I mean, and I'm okay. Don't get me wrong. It's not. I'm not saying don't do it, but if we hit that 25 goal, that's a lot of money somebody's going to be making. I mean, she's going to be driving her own Lamborghini around town and living in Malibu.
Well, if she's worth it.
I agree. But at a certain point, the numbers don't make sense. So that seems a lot of money, Gemi, to give away. I'd want to put that back into a foundation for orphanages in Haiti or something like that, rather than just giving it to one person. Personally, I think that's too much to give somebody. Crap! If that was doable, I'd give up my business and do it for you. It would be a heck of a lot easier than doing what I do, because I don't make anything like that kind of money.
Okay.
I'm just being real. But if you did 25 times 12,000 times 50,
600,000.
yeah, it's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of legal agreement have you got together? Letter of agreement or anything yet?
No, we didn't do anything yet.
So any non-disclosure clause?
With Daisy? No, we didn't do anything.
Okay. Yet. You need some paperwork for her to sign, because first of all,
yeah.
You don't want her to sort of rape and pillage your system and then go off to the next health guru or something. And at the same time, you want some kind of non-compete. So if you teach her everything and she gets all of this and she leaves, we don't want her to go and do it for another person in your space. So you need a non-disclosure agreement to begin with. I mean, I mean, I can send you what I have.
Okay.
I mean, I made it legal. So it's code of ethics and non-disclosure. It's a simple 3-page that I get people when they join me as an employee. It's legal in Canada. It's the bare legal, but it's not a sales contract for a subcontractor. We have them for website coders, but it's very specific. But probably your lawyer has got templated contracts for these that he signs off all the time, or she signs. Is it he or she, your lawyer?
My lawyer is he.
He's probably got them.
Yeah.
Because each state is different legislation.
Different, yeah.
So right now she's turning up based on a conversation.
The what? So
effectively, she's turning up to work with you based on a conversation. So we need to get something in writing so that you could send that to her. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know where her brain's at or what she does or who she is, but so she's formally leaving BMW on Sunday or whatever?
Yeah.
And working for you on Monday. But we haven't got any paperwork or signed signatures or anything to speak to that effect. Okay. We need to get that in place really fast this week.
The what?
We need to get that in place really fast.
Yeah.
So I can send you what I have, just to read. I mean, it won't hold water in California because it's.
Yeah, I will call my lawyer and ask him about that.
Yeah, I mean, ideally,
things.
Realistically, we should have had that done and signed a while ago.
Oh yeah.
It's okay. I mean, we're entrepreneurs. We fly by the seat of our pants. I mean, you build a plane as you fly. I
Yeah.
mean, you're the Amelia Earhart of the brain, if you like, you know? The first real female pilot who's going against all logic, that she said she could fly around the world, and she did. You're saying that you can fly in the face of medical science and prove things that doctors don't even understand. I mean, that alone is a huge undertaking. And I totally believe you can do that, and you will do that. But then taking on like me and taking on Emily and Daisy, and I mean, these are all big steps. These are big girl pants steps.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason we're working together. Is I'm helping you with the business, not just the marketing, because that's who we are and what we do. But yeah, let's look at that.
Yeah.
But let's also think about an earnings cap, because I mean, it's a great,
okay.
25 a week. I mean, I don't know how long. I mean, we're gonna.
That will be the ultimate goal.
Of course. Because typically lead conversion works so that, let's just say we have a webinar of 100 people, and approximately 30% of the people will show up live. So we got 30 people. These are just general industry stats. Of those 30 people who apply for a strategy session, typically you'll get maybe 4 to 6. And out of that 4 to 6, depending on how good a close you are, you would probably get 1, maybe 2 people buy. Sort of in the sequence of at a $12,000 low price, different story. So for every webinar, we might get 2 sales. So then we've obviously got social media, which is a gateway to attraction. We've got the strategy sessions that you can do on an ongoing basis. But that funnel, if you like, is nowhere near big enough to get you the kind of numbers that you need initially. I mean, it's initially it's what we're going to do, but going bigger, I mean, you're going to need to be on stages. You're going to need to be at events. You're going to there's a lot of mechanics to this machine that we haven't built yet.
Yeah.
Right now, we've got to deliver the first course, get the test cases, get the testimonies, get people to prove that they can do it, that they can replicate it, that they can sell. And people are going to wait to see all of that. And when they see all of that done and it works, then you've got the physical proof that this is a profitable business model. Because this is not selling timeshares or multi-level marketing vitamins. I mean, this is real personal coaching and teaching, and it takes time. And you don't want to be seen as a pyramid scheme. You don't want to be seen as anything shady. You know, you want this to be very legitimate, and legitimacy takes time to prove. I mean, I know with Paul, who you know quite well, I mean, he said to me that the reason he picked me in the end over the other agencies that he'd spoken to and worked with in the past, because he was a hospital administrator for marketing, was he said, I had a proven system that worked. He said, I could see that. So he said, I believed in you as a person. I loved you as a person, and you spoke and you said all the right things, and I got the right energy, that you were the right person. But you also had a system that delivered, and you have multiple success stories that have come under that system. So he said, I was very confident that you were the guy to give us that quantum leap that we needed. People need to be able to say that to you too. So you're amazing. You've got a story. You've created a program. Now we have to prove it works. Not just for people's brains, but also for people's bank accounts. And obviously we can't prove that until we do it. So, I mean, when I started this, I changed my business focus nearly 4 years ago now. You probably saw in that webinar that I was in a car accident and damaged my neck and had to rebuild my own business in 2009. So from 2010, when I first started this, really till 2015, I grew my business from like $0 to the 300,000. And 2013, 14, 15, that's as much as I could do, approximately $350,000 in sales. It was just me, so it was profitable. It wasn't net profit because we were making websites and so on as well, but I was making a good living. But I couldn't push the needle any further. I couldn't grow.
Yeah.
And that's when I learned, that's when I mentored with Lisa Satovich, and I learned this more one-to-many model, which is a webinar model and group training coaching, which I was not doing. So all of my Facebook work that you see now and the website that you see now and how I teach, other than the one-on-one like we're doing, is all leveraged. And that's how I could take my business from $350,000 to $1 million in 2 years. And we've kept it. We've kept it there for the last 2 years. But obviously, I've employed 6 people too, so my overhead's much higher. But it's the only way I could scale, because I can't scale and just be me. So I had to bring people in. So you're doing all the right things, but it took me from 2010, if you like, to 2017 to get to 7 figures. And then 17, 18, 19, we're still up there, and there's no reason why we can't keep growing it as our groups grow bigger. So I know the model. I mean, I started at 0, and I'm living proof that, you know, with the right people and the right hard work, it works. And obviously, you're investing in people like you, so we should be able to fast track that now because of my experience, and also the state of social media today compared to 9 years ago is so different, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So if you could get some paperwork to Daisy, I mean, I'll send you what I have, and let's see how they go. But if she doesn't work out, don't lose sleep.
Oh yeah.
You know, we'll work it out. There are other people that can sell.
Yeah.
And in the first month, that's money in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
It's aggressive to start off with a salesperson from day one. I mean, I love you for it, but it's an aggressive step. So if it's, you know, it's like, this is what I would love it to be, but I'm okay if it's this, and if it's this, then that's okay too. So it's gonna be good.
Oh my gosh.
Just breathe. Just breathe.
Oh my gosh.
You know that you've put your heart and soul into this. You know that your desire is to help people. And you also know that because of that, the universe is going to reward you. You know that.
Yeah, I know.
So you just have to keep that top of mind. And it's going to be fine. But it's the entrepreneur's journey. It's the Himalayas. It's the valleys and the peaks. Sometimes in the same hour, let alone the same day.
Yeah.
But that's why you're building some trusted sources around you to lift as you climb, right?
Yeah.
And you're tired too. I can see that because you probably didn't sleep very much last night.
I didn't sleep. I mean, it's just I didn't sleep.
We don't want you burning out your brain again.
Yeah. No, it doesn't happen. I mean, I haven't had something like this. I don't even remember if I ever had it. Like,
you wouldn't be human if you didn't, because this is, I mean, it's almost like lunchtime, right? All those guys at NASA in cold sweats just before the space shuttle goes up and stuff. I mean, it's natural.
Yeah. I mean, like the fact that I'm launching on Monday, and like, you know, like things are not done yet, and Emily left this week, and you know, like the website, but you know, like I do want to launch on Monday. I don't want to postpone it.
No, you absolutely can. And if we can get 4 or 5 or 6 people straight in, that is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get the 6 people at 12,000, that's $72,000 right there, right?
I won't have them all for sure. Not right away, because I know that like the students are not going to do anything until they graduate, which is in June. I know that one. So I mean, like I have 2 100% sure. I mean, like those are ready.
That's $24,000.
Yeah. Let me see.
Could you get them to pay you by credit transfer rather than Stripe?
Other than what?
Rather than credit cards, are you able to take fund transfers directly into your account?
I could do that.
Because that would save you 3%.
Yeah.
Straight away.
Yeah. I will certainly ask them that. That's for sure.
I mean, I don't mind taking credit cards off people because it gets them points, and it's just an easier way to fund things, and it's my cost of doing business that I absorb now. My credit card commissions are $3,000 a month or something like that, just on commission to the credit card company. Really, they could be in my bank account if I did wire transfers and stuff. So
Yeah.
The more we can save, the better in that respect.
Yeah.
So you said your husband's gone today. Is that spring break there?
No. I think they do. Their spring break is going to start at the end of. I mean, like here in San Luis Obispo, they are doing next week. I know Emily next week is off, so she will be able to do a lot next week too. But my husband, I think, is like more inside April, like 2 or 3 weeks inside April.
Okay, because in British Columbia they have a 2-week spring break, and we're right in the middle of it right now.
Oh, 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, I should move up there.
We have free healthcare too.
Well, I know that one too.
Well, it's not completely free. I pay $150 a month.
That's nothing. You know how much we pay for the healthcare? $1,400 a month.
Yeah. And my surgery, like full surgery, my neck replaced, everything, nothing. Nothing. Yeah. And it would have been, who knows, hundreds of thousands.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Man-made titanium engineered discs in my neck. Full surgery. I mean, it was a 2.5-hour surgery. I mean, who knows how much that would cost?
Oh yeah, it may have cost close to $1 million.
Yeah, I didn't pay a thing, which is why we moved to Canada and not America.
Yeah.
As a family, because we just. I don't know why you chose. Why did you choose America?
Well, because my husband was here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you met him in the States?
I met him here. Yeah, I met him here, and we got married here, and we stayed here.
And then you get your green card and everything through him.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Understood.
Yeah. I'm a citizen now.
We moved to Canada as a family just because we liked the country and we'd been here on holiday. We just burnt our bridges and bought a ticket and moved. Sold our house and moved.
So you were in England?
Yeah.
And you moved to Canada?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not easy to get the green card and all of this.
No, it took us nearly 2 years. And we were the ideal, because Canada has a declining population, so they actually have an actual policy of bringing in at least 250,000 immigrants every year. And there's so many numbers per province. So British Columbia actually wants 50,000, I don't know what the number is, 50,000 new families to move every year into the province from overseas. And they have a refugee status as well. So we knew, I mean, 2 professional people with 3 young children is the ideal scenario for a country. I said to Debbie, I think I'd have probably got in quicker if I was from an ethnic minority, gay and disabled, but you know, we were normal, if whatever normal is these days.
Yeah.
So the only thing that we had to prove was that we could support ourselves for 3 months before healthcare kicked in, that we had employment skills that were readily acceptable within the marketplace, and that we had a level of education that proved that, and that we were willing to stay here. I also had to prove that I spoke French, because I didn't have I had a degree, but it wasn't an industry degree, it's a religious studies degree. So you had to have so many points in the classification. And our points were kind of borderline, and it was really around the interview as to whether we had enough points to come or not. Anyway, we maxed out the points for the interview, as it happens. So we had more than enough. We needed 70, and we had 78 points in the end. And did it at the High Commission in London. And so that was February that we got the green light, and we moved in August, and the children started school in September.
Nice.
Sold our house in the April, left England in the July, went back, stayed with my wife's parents for a month. And then we went to Florida and stayed with some friends for 6 weeks. And then we flew from Florida to Phoenix, and from Phoenix to Vancouver. And then about a month later, this container arrived with all of our stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a big move.
Oh, yeah.
You did it with,
Yeah,
with
I
all
mean, I
that's going
didn't
on in
need
your
a
life.
container. I have everything back home still. I mean, like, you know, but yeah, I mean, it's you have to make a big decision. I mean, it is a big decision.
It is, yeah.
Oh, Jonathan.
We're gonna get there.
What background do you have, religious background?
So I was not brought up in a religious family at all. My grandmother was Catholic. My mum was Catholic, and then my mum got divorced, and she wanted to remarry because her original first husband. I have a half brother from that. Her first husband was very abusive. He was very violent, and he was also having an affair with another lady. So she left him, and they got divorced. And then she met my dad about 4 years later, and the church would not let her get married. So she had to go to a Methodist church, get married to my dad, and they welcomed them. And obviously, there's myself and I have two other brothers, so there's four boys. So my mum completely went against the church because she was the innocent victim, if you like. And as far as she was concerned, the church basically said that she had committed the unforgivable sin of adultery by remarrying. We're going back 60 years here. But yeah, so for my mum's whole life, she was going to hell because she remarried. And my dad wasn't a religious person. He was a good man, but he never had a church background either. So I was brought up, we were sent to Sunday school as kids. And I think it was more so that my parents could have some time off on a Sunday morning. Rather than having three boys around the house, they could just send them to the local Sunday school. So I had a Bible-based education, if you like. And they still taught Bible in school in England at that time anyway. So you did do prayers and stuff as part of assembly. But it wasn't a real relationship for me at all. And then, well, getting into my life story here, but in my teens, I was 15, and I kind of went through a mid-teen crisis, which kids do. And I had a girlfriend, an old girlfriend, who sat next to me in English, who always seemed very positive on life, always had a very positive outlook. And I was a punk rocker, and punk rock had died, and new romantic music had just come in, and I hated it. And a lot of the guys that I used to hang out with were like 4 years older than me, and they'd all left school, so I really didn't have any friends in school. And it was just one of those times in life that I wasn't feeling happy, and I wanted to smack her because she just seemed so happy all the time. Not that I was a violent person, but So she said that the reason she was happy was that she was a Christian, and that she had God in her life and a different outlook on life. And I went, "Are you kidding? I've been to that church. It's awful. My mum made me go there. They hated my mum. Why would that make me happy?" So she said, "You should come along." And they had on Friday lunchtimes, they had what in school they called it Christian Union at the time in England. So I went to this group, and I thought, wow, maybe it's a good chance to pick up a new girlfriend. And they had a pastor there who was very good storyteller. And he was talking about the book of Revelation, which is all about the end times of the world in the Bible. And he was talking about breaking these seals and all these proclamations and all these plagues. And I was a big Lord of the Rings kind of reader. And I had no idea that the Bible had such great stories. And I was kind of interested. So I went back the next week. And then I came to a realization that, I wasn't as clever as I thought I was, and that there was a different way of looking at life if I made a different choice and a different journey. And 1st of February 1981, which was a Friday, I made a decision to do things differently. And then about a year later, I met my wife. I was volunteering for a youth organization, and we did a concert at the high school. And the concert was designed to high school kids. And I was on stage moving speakers around and being the sort of stage manager, if you like. And Debbie was in the audience. So I was 16 and she was 13. I didn't know she was 13, but I remember seeing her at that concert, but I didn't know who she was, but she just stood out, in the audience. And then a couple of weeks later, we had a follow-up event, which was like a coffee drop-in at a loft in a church building sort of thing, studio type place. And she came. She came hoping that I was going to be there, and I went hoping she was going to be there. And I tried to be cool, but my heart was pumping, and we met, and not long after that, I took her out and we started dating, and yeah,
Good enough.
38 years later.
That's cool.
So my degree, I left school to work for my father. I didn't finish high school because I didn't need it at the time. I worked for a family business, and then with my church, I had a chance to do higher education. So I did 4 years of study to be a pastor. And so my degree is in what they call divinity, which is religious studies with pastoral care. And so I had that. And I did that between 1988 and 1994. So it took a while, but so I have a degree, and the government of Canada recognized that as a degree, but it's not from an official university, but it was adjudicated. And Debbie and I used to run a church in England. I wasn't the main pastor. We helped, but we ran the whole Sunday school. And then for a year, we didn't have a pastor because she moved, and I ran the church.
Nice.
On top of having a full-time job and 3 kids. Yeah, it's just, that's my story.
That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, it's interesting how people, the things that we do.
So, yeah. So I have to go, but I'd love to hear your story another time, though, a bit more.
Oh, no, it's not that interesting.
Oh, it is. You thought the story really wasn't that interesting, but it's epic.
Oh, yeah, well, it's okay.
More than okay.
I'm going to clench my butt cheeks now.
Okay, I'm clinching with you. You probably have the best pelvic floor on the planet.
I do. Pretty good one. Yeah, I mean, I was telling my trainer, I said, I don't know what's going on, but my butt cheeks are climbing up to my back. I'm not feeling comfortable with that one. I feel like Kim Kardashian. And he says,
just make your husband very happy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
I'm sure he is.
Oh, he is. But, like, I don't know if he ever pays attention to many things. It's very scattered all the time.
Bless him.
I love him.
Good. That's what counts. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go and sit with my team now, and I'll go through my notes.
Okay, I will talk to my lawyer today and see what we can do, and I will.
Let me know how that goes.
Yeah. Thank you, Jonathan.
Mwah. Bye.
Bye.